Hi, welcome back to Health Advocates Ask the Expert series, a monthly show about trending topics in healthcare. I'm your host, Courtney Preiser. Today we'll be talking to Dr. Abbie Leibowitz, Health Advocates Chief Medical Officer, about clinical advocacy. Dr. Leibowitz is a nationally recognized leader in the healthcare industry and an authority on clinical management and managed care, among other topics. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So what is clinical advocacy?
It's the idea of helping individuals deal with a healthcare issue. That's very broad, and in each individual situation, the person who you're trying to interface with has a different need, tells a different story. The idea of separating our service kind of artificially into clinical advocacy and administrative support is something that's directed more by the nature of why the individual calls. But behind every reason somebody deals with the healthcare system, there is a clinical issue.
Sure.
So broadly, clinical advocacy is what we do in every situation.
Sure. So what are some of the things that clinical advocacy specifically addresses?
Well, if you're looking at treatment decision support, what kind of care should I get for the problem that I'm facing? Who should I go to? What kind of specialist do I need? How do I get an appointment? After I meet the doctor and the doctor tells me things, I don't understand what she's saying, who can help me with that? What about these medications that I'm prescribed? All those kinds of things just cascade one on the other, and collectively are the clinical advocacy that we help people with.
I see. So in what ways does it help specific employees when they call in with this problem? Like, how does it work for them?
So a person may call because they've got an injured shoulder. Maybe they hurt it playing tennis, maybe they worked out at the gym, maybe they just woke up with a sore shoulder.
Sure.
And they go to their physician and the doctor says, okay, look, there are a couple things we can do here. You might want to see an orthopedist, maybe we should try physical therapy. The person leaves and says, well, wait a second, those are two very different options. Should I see an orthopedist or should I try physical therapy? And we can help them through the decision to say, these are things people with your situation might consider. So physical therapy is reasonable, give it a try, it helps 80% of the people that have the kind of problem that you have. Or sometimes the best advice is to see an orthopedist because the injury may sound more serious. And that orthopedist may turn around and say, listen, you need physical therapy, you don't need surgery. So it's all a matter of just trying to meet the person where they are, address the issue that they bring to you, and try to just help them through the process. Be there to support them. There are very few right and wrong answers in healthcare. Our goal is to help people get to the point where they can find the person best qualified to give them an answer that's likely to get them to the best possible medical outcome.
And help cut through all that confusion too.
Yeah, really. And for whatever, we tell people this all the time, but for whatever you think you know about the healthcare system, it's disconnected, it's disjointed. When you're in the middle of it, it looks much different than when you and I sit here and kind of just talk about, oh yes, things are difficult, it's hard to find a doctor, how do you get an appointment? When you're the one who really needs that doctor or needs that appointment, the world looks entirely much more complicated.
Absolutely. So from an organizational perspective, how does offering clinical advocacy to employees benefit an employer or a payer or any sort of organization that has members or employees?
Yeah, so ultimately at the end of the day, medical costs get driven up by the inefficiencies of the healthcare system. By trying to make the system work better for people, we will save whoever the payer is. And in many cases, the payer is obviously the health plan. But often it's the self-insured employer. So the savings accrue directly to the people that are paying for the care, let alone the out-of-pocket expenses that an individual can save or the cost of getting care in the first place. So when you look at this, everything that we do that helps a person get to the right care, right time, best person to give their opinion, saves everybody money.
Absolutely, and time too.
And time. And time is money. People tend to talk about this idea of hours spent away from work presenteeism
Right.
or
Oh, yeah, big
absenteeism,
buzzword.
right? They tend to talk of those as though they're soft costs. They're not soft costs. They're real costs.
Right.
They're hard to measure, and in that
Sure.
case, you don't get a file at the end of the day from your payroll administrator that says these are the hours we paid for that people really weren't working. So in that case, in that circumstance, they're kind of soft, but they're real dollars, and the efficiencies that we create, just taking the burden off the shoulder of the individual employee, because the healthcare system works during working hours.
Yeah.
And if you're going to deal with it, you're going to deal with it when you're supposed to be working for your employer.
Absolutely. Makes a lot of sense. So how is Health Advocates' approach to clinical advocacy unique?
I think the experience that we have makes us unique. The ability to look, it almost sounds trivial, but the ability to look at the whole person, to take a view at everything, all the stressors
Sure.
in the relationship makes us truly unique. We don't focus only on one part of the healthcare system.
Right.
We don't focus only on helping people at the highest end get second opinions. We help everybody get second opinions. We don't only focus on treatment decision support. It's part of what we do, but it's not all of what we do. So the ability to find out what you need, talk to you about how we can work together to meet those needs, and then be there to guide you through and support you as you go through the healthcare system. That whole collection of things is what makes us unique.
Absolutely. The integrated services.
Integrated
to be able to touch
services.
on a lot of different things.
Yeah, the healthcare system is disjointed. Benefits are difficult, and increasingly individuals have to spend more of their own money out of pocket to get health care.
It's expensive.
So when you're looking at somebody today and you're talking to them about the things you can do to help them, it's a much different circumstance when people didn't have really any financial skin in the game before.
Right.
And they want to be smart consumers. They want to make the right decisions. They don't want to waste money. Oftentimes they don't know how to take advantage of services, what tools are available. They don't even know how they can become better healthcare consumers, and we can help them through that whole process.
That's great. Well, thank you so much. This has been really informative.
It's terrific, and it's great to be here today.
Hopefully having you back soon.
Sure.
And thank you for tuning in. If you like what you just heard, we hope you'll subscribe to our channel and follow us on our social media pages. And join us again next time for another edition of Health Advocates Ask the Experts.